to Drumchapel St. Andrew's online church. I hope you're well and I hope that you're doing okay. Thanks so much for checking in and thanks for being part of our church family online. We are back in church, so if you're around, you're really welcome to come and join us at 11 o'clock on a Sunday. It's very different from what it used to be, but for now it's okay and it is good to see everybody. But the advice, as always, is to feel safe and please don't come if you have any doubts whatsoever about it. The most important thing is that you're safe, because church will be here in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in a year's time. Most important thing is that you're safe. We love you more than we want to see you. But good news this week about the updates on the vaccine, because that seems to give at least some sort of cautious optimism for the way ahead. And hopefully over the next few months and into next year, we maybe will see ourselves coming back to some sort of normality again. So that's really encouraging news. Thanks so much for tuning in for today. Our theme for today is DNA. And again, I'd invite you to pause me at various different bits in the service for the songs and videos that are part of the service. I've done them in a different format today. What I've done previously is I've had the songs in one section and the videos in the section underneath it. But what I've done today is I've just put them all together in the order that they'll appear during the service. So see if that works better without having to jump around from one section to another. So please pause me, and our first song is I Am a New Creation. Do you remember the story about the tortoise and the hare? Great story. But what would happen in real life? I want you to pause me and watch the next 2 videos. There are 2 tortoise versus hare videos to watch. And so there you have it. It is the tortoise every time. In fact, I couldn't find a single video on YouTube where the bunny beats the tortoise. Not one. Maybe it's a mindset thing. Maybe if you're a hare, you've got to want to race. Life isn't always about what you are capable of. It's about what you choose. And it's what you choose that determines your path ahead. In Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Professor Dumbledore says to Harry, "It is not our abilities that show what we truly are. It's our choices." Let's do a prayer. God, I do need to recognise what I'm capable of. And sometimes I just don't see how good I am. Help me to recognise that. But what's more important is the choices that I make. What I choose to do, who I choose to be. Today, that's important for me. Amen. And please pause me and listen to our next song, which is Rise. I invite you to join me in a prayer. God, in this moment, I carve out space away from all that's going on. Space for you and space for myself. I know that sometimes I have to allow myself to stop doing, to stop thinking, and to stop overthinking. I need to allow my mind my heart, my soul to feel peace, to allow myself to recharge, to recognize the value of recreation, recreation. I am a creative being, but sometimes I lose my creativity in constant activity. I don't allow myself to rest, to heal, to be still. In this moment, I appreciate the value of silence. A moment not to have to explain, to justify, or even to understand. A moment just to be. I'm really encouraged by this week's news about a vaccine for COVID-19. I know there's a long way to go and bridges still to cross. I know I have to try not to get too excited, but the thought of being able to return to some sort of normality, the thought of people once more feeling safe, being able to be together, make me feel so much lighter. I thought today for all those unwell with the virus, for all who are afraid, for all whose lives have been affected by this virus. I could never have imagined this time last year how things would play out in 2020. I ask for strength for all to come through the challenges, both of health and of isolation. Last week at Remembrance, I asked for peace for the world, for cooperation, for a sense of together. I don't want that prayer to be only for one day. I want it to become a reality every day. A thought for all who have lost people they love, for all who are facing health issues, for all who have difficult choices to make. A moment for those in my heart today. And a moment for myself, for wisdom in the choices I have to make today, for courage to live with integrity, for kindness to myself when I mess up, for praise when I deserve it, and sometimes even if I'm not sure I deserve it. Amen. Our Bible reading for today is from the book of Matthew, chapter 25, reading from verse 14 through 30, and it's one of Jesus' stories. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like this. Once there was a man who was about to leave home on a trip. He called his servants and put them in charge of his property. He gave to each one according to his ability. To one he gave 5,000 gold coins. To another he gave 2,000 gold coins. And to another he gave 1,000 gold coins. Then he left on his trip. The servant who'd received 5,000 coins went at once and invested his money and earned another 5,000. In the same way, the servant who'd received 2,000 coins earned another 2,000. But the servant who'd received 1,000 coins went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants came back and settled accounts with them. The servant who'd received 5,000 coins came in and handed over another 5,000. "You gave me 5,000 coins, sir. Look, here are another 5,000 I've earned." "Well done, good and faithful servant," said his master. "You've been faithful in managing small amounts, so I'll put you in charge of large amounts. Come on in and share my happiness." Then the servant who'd been given 2,000 coins came in and said, "You gave me 2,000 coins. Look, here's another 2,000 that I've earned." "Well done, you good and faithful servant," said his master. "You've been faithful in managing small amounts, so I'll put you in charge of large amounts. Come on in and share my happiness." Then the servant who'd received 1,000 coins came in and said, "Sir, I know you're a hard man. You reap harvests where you didn't plant, and you gather crops where you didn't scatter seed. I was afraid, so I went off and hid your money in the ground. Look, here's what belongs to you." "You bad and lazy servant," his master said. "You knew, did you, that I reap harvests where I didn't plant and gather crops where I didn't scatter seed? Well, then you should have deposited my money in the bank, and I would at least have received it all back with interest when I returned. Now take the money away from him and give it to the one who has 10,000 coins. For to every person who has something, even more will be given, and he'll have more than enough. But the person who has nothing, even the little that he has, will be taken away from him. As for this useless servant, throw him outside in the darkness. There he'll cry and gnash his teeth." Wow, that's a story with lots to make you think. Our next song, if you want to pause me, is "Tell Out My Soul." What makes you who you are? I want you to pause me and watch a video. It's a NatWest advert. I think that is really thought-provoking, but I'm not sure that we are what we do. I think we are way more than that. I think that what we do is often a reflection of who we are, but it is seldom the whole story. What makes you who you are? What is stopping you from being all you want to be? Today's story is about perspective, and it feels harsh. The 3 servants are given according to their ability. I sort of think the issue here is not about what you have, but about what you do with it. I was quite shocked when I studied positive psychology to discover that studies indicate that a large part of your propensity to be happy is genetic. 50% of capacity for happiness is genetic, which means if your parents were miserable, you'll be miserable. Or maybe not. 10% is environmental, but that means that 40% is down to you. There are things in our lives that are givens, but we can change how we respond to them, how we deal with them, how they affect us, and how we use them. We are designed to be creative. We have a sense of possibility. But sometimes, like in today's story, we allow fear to overshadow our creativity and to blank our possibilities. It feels easier to hide. I love this old story. The brown paper cowboy is standing at the bar in the saloon. Brown paper Stetson, brown paper neckerchief, brown paper shirt, brown paper waistcoat, brown paper jacket, brown paper trousers, brown paper boots. Suddenly, the sheriff bursts into the saloon. "Brown paper cowboy, I'm taking you in." Brown paper cowboy says, "What's the charge, Sheriff?" Sheriff says, "Rustling." It doesn't feel okay to be judged for who you are. But is there a difference between who you are and what you do? Last year I had my house rewired. At one point when the electricians were leaving, they were leaving some bits still open. And the electrician says to me, "I'm presuming you're not an idiot." I think that was quite a brave assumption to make, because sometimes I am, but hopefully only for a moment. Ikegai is a fascinating concept. It's a Japanese word and it means reason for being. Ikegai. The concept of Ikegai originated on the Japanese island of Okinawa. And if you think of it like a Venn diagram, Ikegai has 3 circles. Your values, things you like to do, and things you're good at. And the cross section of these 3 circles is your Ikegai. Sometimes there's a 4th circle, something that benefits others. Something you like, something you're good at, something that you value, and something that is of benefit to others. Ikegai goes right to the heart of finding meaningfulness in life. What you value, what you like doing, what you are good at, and what benefits others. Where all of those come together, that is where you will find fulfillment. And maybe it all comes down to what is really important to you. I think in amongst everything else in our lives, sometimes we lose that. We lose it in fear. We lose it in duty. We lose it in image. We lose it in what others expect of us. In the movie A Good Year, Henry says to Max, once you find something good, you have to take care of it. Your Ikegai is where you feel fulfilled. It is that something good that you have to take care of. That place where you are who you're meant to be. Please pause me for a moment and watch our next video, which is a Mercedes ad. Discovering your true self is maybe not about wishing for what you don't have, but enjoying, growing, appreciating, and making the most of what you do have. What do you value? What do you love doing? What are you good at? What benefits others? Don't bury what makes you come alive, what makes you grow, what makes you become who you want to be. Don't let fear hold you back from being all you can be. Don't sabotage yourself. The buried coins appear safe. They're not. They're worthless. They're not doing what they're meant to do. What do you need to open yourself to today? What do you need to exercise, use, open up to the light of day? What makes you who you are? Peter Drucker said, there is a risk you cannot afford to take, and there is the risk you cannot afford not to take. Let's do a prayer. God, today I want to recover my sense of possibility. I want to break through the fear that makes me feel safe in hiding, and to discover safety in knowing who I am, in believing in myself, and in having the courage to put myself out there where that's where I need to be. Amen. I invite you to pause me again and to just share a moment for reflection. And the bit of music we'll listen to in our moment for reflection is Divineer by Ikegai. Thanks so much for checking in today. I hope you have a good day, and I hope the rest of the week is a good one for you. Our closing song is I Hope You Dance. And after that, I've linked May God's blessings surround you today, which is the closing prayer we always use in church. And I found what I think is a better version of this. So see what you think when you check it out. Thanks for being here. It's been good to connect with you. Have a good day. Take care.